In this conversation, you're going to meet Big H, or Howard Williams, as he's otherwise known. I met H many years ago when I moved into St Paul's in Bristol, and I walked into a gym, and I almost walked immediately back out again. Well, in fact, I started to do that, and out of nowhere, I just hear a "Hey!" And that was when I met H. 7 months later, he'd trained me to do an Olympic triathlon, and I was always amazed at just how positive and up for everything he was. So, in the first episode of this podcast, I figured who better to talk to than my friend and mentor, Big H. So the following is a conversation where we touch briefly on parts of his life and go through elements of what makes him who he is and how he maintains it. We recognise actually during this conversation that one conversation is not enough, so we'll likely have another. But for now, my name's Tom, and you're watching or listening to Living Proof.
So when people give me compliments now, I actually appreciate it now. Because before I never. Mad, innit?
It's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't either. I actually used to hate it. I
Seriously.
really...
No, me.
Yeah.
And a man pulled me aside and said, "No, H. You're not good at it. You're brilliant at what you do. And you got to appreciate who you are. Otherwise, you never accept compliments when people give you. Could you just say, yeah, cool, and all that?
Yeah.
No, but it's not.
Well, it's because you don't want to believe them.
You know what I mean? It's like, no.
Because if you believe what they're saying, it means that you have to hold yourself to that standard. So if you don't believe it, then you can hold yourself to whichever standard you want. But the reality is, the way that people see you and when they give you compliments and when they tell you how great you are, because you're an amazing man, and that's why I'm really pleased that you're here. Without receiving it, it's like, what are you really?
Seriously. Then I'm not here then.
Yeah.
Because if I don't receive it, then I'm not here then. Yeah. Oh, it's just my image. It's a mirage. I'm not here. Nah, because then that means that you're soulless then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you have to accept yourself and appreciate yourself. You have to own yourself. Because it's about ownership. Because you have to own who you are, good and bad, everything about yourself, to be yourself.
Wait, no one else can own it.
No. Seriously. Otherwise, you're fragmented, innit? And then you can't accept nothing and nothing can't come because you have fragmented yourself. So you have to be that being, to be or not to be. So you have to be that one.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Me, myself, and I.
Well, if you can't even give to yourself, how can you give to anyone else?
There you go. And that's what
it's not giving to yourself from a way of greed or petulance or like giving to yourself through
love.
It's like through love, isn't it? It's like giving yourself what you actually need.
Yeah. But you give yourself what you want to give to others, innit? So whatever you give yourself love, you give yourself appreciation, you give yourself that joy of yourself, then you'll give that to the people and wherever you go, you'll be giving that. That's what will come off of you.
That's one of my favorite
what
things.
transpires to others because they can feel that.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things actually of walking around Bristol with you is every single person that you see. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
You know me.
Every single person. Like you don't miss a beat.
No.
Not a single one.
No.
And it's inspiring to see that, you know. Anyway, we started. We started.
Yeah.
But I'd like to welcome you, man. Welcome you again to the house, although you've been here for a day, and we've had a great time since.
Appreciate having me here. I take off my glasses now, you know.
It's getting serious.
Something going on to me. I can't see shit, man. I can't see nothing, man. So don't worry about it. Like,
It's all right, I got some Sananga for you later.
yeah. No, but I see from the soul, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They say our eyes is a gateway to our soul. So I like him to have so he can see into my eyes, you know.
Yep. And that's how you greet everyone. Eye contact and a good morning.
Yeah, 100%.
So when did obviously we've known each other now for what, 12 years?
It just seems like forever, isn't it?
It does feel like forever, yeah.
Because I don't even have to see you for a long time, but when I see you, it's like I never, like we, you know, we was always together.
Yeah.
And that's nice. That's good, though.
That's healthy, isn't it?
Yeah, man. But that's how the world should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's how the world should be. And I'm not going to say, oh, that's just the way. No, that's how it should be. And the only way it's going to be like that, I will carry on being the way I am. And other people, you give off that same thing. And if you can change one person's way of how they see themselves, they give off that to somebody else. And then together we can change the world for the better.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is that creates that? Like, as you said, like when we see each other, there is, it's like no time has passed. And we also don't really know. Like we could say 12 years, but I'd actually have to look it up and go, right, how long has it actually been? Because it does feel like forever. So what do you think it is that within our relationship and that is creating that? Because I think I know. But
what do you know?
I think there's a lack of expectation. I think there's a respect for the other, and we don't want or need anything from one another. We can just be cool with each other.
100.
Innit? Because as soon as you start, like, if I start putting onto you an expectation of how I want you to be for me, then all you can ever do is fail me.
100%.
Because you can't live up to the expectation that I've got for you because you don't know what it is.
That's right. But then you're not living up to your own expectation because obviously you're projecting something onto that person which you lack in yourself then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that's got to be that way, innit? Because how could you expect something of somebody if you don't expect it of yourself?
Yeah.
So you're projecting that onto that person. I want you to be this and want you to be that. But, hang on a second. What about you then?
Yeah.
How come you ain't being that person?
Looking for someone to save you. Looking for someone to realise the ideologies that you can't realise yourself. But we don't have that, which is good.
Nah. No, I just real anyway. I don't know, through my life, I've grown, and I think I'm a better version of myself now than I ever been. Like, life teaches us a lot of things in our lives. You experience things, you do things. When you haven't done something before, this is how I kind of look at my life. If I never done something before, it can't be a mistake. Because if I never done it before, how could that be a mistake? Knowing of that thing and then doing it, that's a self-mistake. Because you've done that thing before, now you know of it. So that's a self-mistake. Doing it again and again, then that's a big mistake. Doing it after that, that's a fool's mistake. Then you're just a big fool. You might as well just carry on doing that. Yeah. But life has taught me scenarios, different challenges, and it either breaks you or it makes you. Yeah? So everything that's come to me, I look at it now and I don't regret nothing. I put it down as my experience. When experience, you gain knowledge, or so they say. And with knowledge comes wisdom. And I think I'm a more wiser person, more knowledgeable person than I was then. I don't judge nobody no more, because when I was younger, I would have judged people and say, this and that, and all those kind of things. I don't do that no more.
Well, let's start there then. Let's go back. Where were you born?
I was born in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Clarendon, Maypen, Jamaica. I was a country boy.
When were you born?
When was I born?
Yeah.
Well, it says I was born July the 30th, 1956. I don't know how true that was, because like back in those days, you know what I mean? you never registered things, unfortunately for us, because of the slavery times and, you know, the different things in our lives times, which is, we just so happen to be born into that. You know, none of us asked to be born. When we born, we didn't come out and say, oh, I'm going to be black or white or yellow or whatever. We just became that.
Yeah.
So I was born into that era. I was born Jamaican. I was born black or brown, whichever way you want to know. So it says that I was born the 30th of July, 1956. I come under the sign of Leo, or in the Asian calendar, I'm a monkey. The Gregorian calendar, I'm man. So, yeah?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you were born in Jamaica and you made your way to England.
With my mum.
When?
19...
How old were you when you came
Hang
in?
on, I'll tell you now. Born 56, 57, 58, 59. You was born 59, it's 58, 59. I think we came here 60 or 61. Because my dad came here before us. He left and my mum was pregnant with my brother, and she said, nah. He said, no, you're not going to come when you're pregnant. So when you drop the baby and thing, I'll go over, set up things, and then then I could come over. So we came over a couple of years after. So when she dropped him in 1958, so I think we came 59 or 60. So yeah, I was like 4 years old, going on 5. 4 or 5.
So you like had, do you remember much of your life being a little boy in Jamaica?
Yeah, I used to go and milk the cow, and then the cow chased me, and I bucked my big toe and fell down, and the cow came to chase me, and I dropped all the milk and everything, a bucket of milk and all that. Yeah, but you see, it's funny because African descendants, because we're African descendants, people of foreign country, it seems like we grow up quicker. Yeah? Young kids, we do things. The life is different. So it's like we be milking the cow. Like I'm 2 years old and I'm running about and I'm doing things. Like our intelligence, like you grow up quicker, I think, in that way where we come. You know,
Well,
where I
times
was
have changed
born.
massively now,
Yeah.
haven't they? Like,
Yeah. But yeah, we was doing things. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we was washing. We learned how to. Our parents was teaching us things what we had to learn. You know what I mean? How to wash our clothes, go down by the river and we wash, and we just knew how to. Sometimes we had to wash clothes with our hands. You know what I mean? So down, scoop, and we knew all this.
and you remember that?
Yeah.
All of that?
Yeah. I remember when I was on the ship and this Italian family wanted to buy me from my mum.
So did you get a boat over to England then?
Yeah. Our boat, what we came on, was the Bigona. It was
Okay.
called the Bigona. My dad came on the Windrush, but we came on the Bigona. And then we had to scrape together £80 at that time. And that's a lot of money to come over, each person to come over here.
So they were like, your parents
And
had
then
to
we
work
was on
really
the
hard.
boat for, we was down in the cargo thing where they had all the cows and all the things. That's where we was. We couldn't be up on the deck and things like that.
And you're saying that while you were on the boat,
Yeah, we had to be down the bottom.
you had to be down the bottom, but then
Yeah,
an
yeah.
Italian family tried to buy you off
From
of
my
your-
mum. They said, Bambino, tried to buy me from my mum. My mum said, yo, go and take yourself and go
Well,
somewhere.
your mum's a legend, though.
Yeah. No, serious.
Yeah.
But we was down in, we couldn't come up on deck.
So that's obviously like, and you were what, 4 at the time?
Yeah. 4 or 5
That's
years old.
like, it's a heavy thing to give to a 4-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
And so you arrived in England, and that's when you started living in Bristol?
no. Went to London first.
Uh-huh.
Because my dad's auntie lived in Shepherd's Bush, off this road. So we went there first. And then we came down stayed with our cousins and all that there for a bit till my dad, because my dad was getting jobs. He worked at Inkley Point and all that mine back in the days.
Oh, really?
When they first Inkley Point, my dad painted that shit and built that shit back in that day. Loads of black people came. See, what happened is why we came here. It wasn't of choice. Because they conquered, England conquered all these countries, and they were the Commonwealth. We was part of their Commonwealth. After the World War II, they were in shit, innit?
Yeah.
Country was in turmoil.
When the Windrush, right?
Yeah. So they had, most of the men died in the war, or they were injured somewhere and all that. So it was just like pure women and like trying to keep the country going, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they sent out an SOS to all the Commonwealth country, India, Jamaica, all the Jamaican islands,
To come and support.
Dominica, all them things there to come. And what they said is, come to England. The pavement's paved with gold.
Come to England. But by the way, it still costs 80 quid each person to come here. But please come.
And then when we come here, we're not going to give you no papers or nothing. Yeah? Seriously. Because we had to buy our citizenship, and it cost us £800 to £1,000 at that time. Seriously.
So you're part of the Commonwealth.
So you're
part of, like, you've been, SOS has come out.
Yes. We come out over here, and we still didn't get no papers, and they showed you that anyway with the Windrush thing, what they'd done. They were destroying all our papers and things like that, and then wanted to deport us and all that. Yeah, they've done their work for us now. Let's just get rid of them now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're over here paying taxes, got kids now, you've got kids born here now, you've got new families, all that. You've been working for 40, 50 years, and then they're going to tell you, we're going to deport you now.
And what age were you when all of that was going on? So obviously, because that time has passed. Your family have come over.
What's going on?
So like when all of a sudden, like papers are disappearing and like deportation is being threatened and all of that kind of stuff. How old are you?
Yeah, I was about, because I had a Jamaican, I came over, I got a Jamaican passport, so I can have dual identity. So...
Well, they call it dual identity, but you're just one identity.
Yeah, but you're just one identity. I know where they get that word from. I know. I'm sorry, I didn't buy into that. For a moment, I was missing in action. Yeah. So when I was a teenager.
What, like 13, 14?
Yeah, when I was a teenager, then they said to us that you need to get citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you don't get it by this said time, blah, blah, blah. So, and then it was at that time when we went to get it, then they said, oh yeah, you got to pay. What do you mean you got to pay? Like, you've been here. Yeah, you got to pay.
You got to pay for everything.
Yeah, £500. And then after that deadline, it went to £800. Then it went to £1,000.
Yeah.
Then it was like £1,500 or £2,000 to get your citizenship. Then a lot of people didn't get it I'm living here and all them things there, and then they had problems. Because I had friends now.
Well, that's a lot of money though, isn't it? Like 500 quid.
Come on, at that time?
At that time,
that's a lot of
That's
dope,
a lot
bro.
of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? And when you was only earning like my dad was only earning £7 a week.
Yeah, and 1,500 quid, and that's 500 quid a person, I guess, right? Yeah. It's not 500 quid for the family.
No.
And there was four of you at the time, was there?
There was each person.
Yeah. So £2,000 when you're earning £7 a week.
Yeah.
I mean, how your dad even managed to do that?
To clothe you, feed you, put a roof over your head, all those kind of things, and you're living in one room.
Yeah.
You live in a house with 5 families. So each family had a bedroom, and you sleep top and tails. So you had one family in one bedroom, 3-bedroom house, one family in the middle bedroom, one family in the top bedroom, one in that one. Then downstairs you got 2 rooms, a front and a back room. You had a family in there and a family in there. There was no bathroom, so you wash in a tin pan, and the toilet was outside. It was called the outhouse.
And this is when you were a teenager?
Yeah, this is when I was a kid.
This
is when I was like 5 years old. This is what we came to. When we came to England, this is what we encountered.
Yeah.
I forgot. You don't even know about these things, do you?
No.
Seriously.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let me just tell you, bro. There was no, you had no bathroom. There was no central heating. So you had a coal fire. If you had a coal fire, then if you had money, you could buy, the coal man would come, drop the bag of coal off, so you get coal. Yeah?
Right, okay, yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to buy what they call a paraffin heater. Yeah? So you would go down the road. They have these drums at the bottom of the road where you have to put in 5p. Yeah? Yeah? Or 8p at the time, a penny or 2 pence or threepence. And you punch. You put your tin underneath there, and you had this thing that looked like petrol. It's called paraffin.
Yeah. So those are
what
the
they put
paraffin
in.
lamps.
What they put in soaps and the paraffin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you put that in, and you put it into a thing, and it got a wick. What you call a wick, and you light it. And the wick will light up, and then it draws it from the paraffin is in, so the wick is in there. So the deeper the wick is, then the wick gets wet. The wick gets wet with the paraffin, and it stays alight.
And you pull the wick up with the little rotator.
That's right, right.
Yeah.
And then you'll stand over it because it didn't really give off much heat. So you'll all be round there trying to get heat.
More of a light, innit? It's like, but
you know
when
what
you ain't got any heating.
And that's what it was.
Yeah.
And back in those days when we came here, you think you see cold weather now? England was like -15, man. And the snow was at the top
Coming from Jamaica as well.
Yeah. Never seen snow in my life. Came here and the snow was at the top of at the front of your door that high. You used to have to open and push the snow down to get out your house. And we used to have to go to school in that. And the first time I ever encountered snow, me and my brothers and sister, and we saw all these white people playing in the snow and thought, yeah. So we started playing in the snow, and then our hands got cold.
Yeah.
And we ran in the house, hot the kettle up, put it in there, and put our hand in the worst thing we ever done in our life.
Boiling water?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst thing we ever done in our life.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you can get chill blades, what they call chill blades, and in your hands, you can't, and the pain, it's, so they put it in cold water, but we didn't know that because we've never experienced snow in our life.
Yeah.
The things we learned, it was just insane, man. Trust me. The things that we had to go through. So you washed in a basin. Mm-hmm. When we came here, we saw them, like, some of the things we saw was just not right. Seriously, it was just not right. They used to clean their teeth in their kitchen sink. Used to wash their face, and they washed the nappies in the sink and all that, and then they would cook food in. And like we used to see things and says, nah, that just don't work like that.
This isn't doing everything.
You don't.
Thing, you know.
That don't work that way. Little things like that. We came, and like when I came to this country, and I went to school, and me and my sister was the only black people in our school.
And so what? You were like 5 at this point?
5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
The only black people in our school, and we got beat up the first day I came there.
Just for being different.
Just for being different. And I never knew these things.
But
I didn't know that until we came here.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't know about racism until I came here.
Well, because you'd never experienced it.
No.
And
so that was a wake-up call.
How do you think, like, just thinking about it, how do you think if you were in Jamaica and you had a full Jamaican, like, so everyone in school was Jamaican, and two British kids turned up.
But you had white, you had...
No.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so you're in Jamaica, right? Mm-hmm. You're 5, 6, and 2 British kids turn up to a Jamaican school. Do you think there would be any difference in the...
No, there wouldn't.
You don't think there would be?
No, there wouldn't.
There wasn't.
Because we had white people there.
What, in Jamaica?
Yeah, in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had white people.
Well, I suppose it was part of the Commonwealth, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they run things.
Right, okay.
They were head of the sugar plantation and all these kind of things. Cause we're still just coming out of remember, slavery only finished not too long ago at that time, mine.
Yeah.
So white people were still there. We had we had Chinese, Jamaicans, we had all different kind of nations was there. So we integrated. So we didn't look at nobody else.
So it was actually multicultural straight away there, Jamaica.
From in Jamaica, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and it was something in England at the time that it hadn't actually experienced multiculturalism.
No.
Because the Commonwealth had spread out.
They were just
It hadn't
ruling people, innit?
It hadn't come back.
No, they were just ruling people. They weren't like integrating. They were still separating. We're the white supremacists, we're the white colonials, and you're gonna do what we want you to do, but you're still that person. Yeah? You're still those people. It's like when they went to, it's like India and Pakistan. That was just one nation. India and Pakistan was just one.
Yeah.
Then the English went there, Kashmir,
Divided it.
and divided them and got them killing each other. And then that's how they got the Indian, but they actually taken on the colonialism of the English to the full. The Tsar, the Raj and all those kind of things. So they definitely got a class distinction in there.
Yeah.
Rich, poor, because they still carry on like that now, mate.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
You know, they have a class distinction, because you go to India and Pakistan and you'll see like poor, the kids on the railways, they're just poor, and then you'll see the rich and they don't give a shit about that. They don't care.
And that's the
class distinction.
That's the class distinction, and that's the sad truth about class, actually.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what you came against in a big way when you came to England.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, something that maybe you knew in Jamaica, but because of the sort of minority being the white oligarch control, like plantation owners, whatever, because that was the minority, it was like more.
But put it this way. The fact is, it's in our DNA. It's a conditioning, yeah? Because what you can't get away from, it's been a conditioning of hundreds of years. They've conditioned us. It was beaten into my foreparents. They were done the most horriblest things to. What one human being could do to another human being, it's just totally out of order.
Whenever I read anything about all of, I do not understand how people could even get to that
and
point.
if you go to places like Gambia and you see the museums of how they had us as slaves, you can't believe that the things that they had us in. How could one human being do that to another human being?
And the thing is as well, like from that, it's that again, that was all created by class distinction, wasn't it? Because you had the kings of the African nations who were selling the people because they deemed them as lesser. Like it's the class distinction that has just eroded.
So after a period of time, you've got beaten into you. It's in your DNA. Yeah. So you're born. It's in you without you realizing it. Yeah. And people got to understand that. This is not like sometimes we do things and we don't even realize what we're doing it. But everything functions from your DNA. Yeah. That's how we're made.
Ancestrally, we are the progression. We are now the tip of the spear of everything that has come before us.
100%.
And
I couldn't even put it better myself.
But in all aspects, we have all experienced throughout our entire history as humanity, we have all experienced suffering. We have all experienced
100%. I totally agree.
And that is innate, and that is, I think, something that now, more than any time ever, now people are starting to face back to the fact that it's just like there is programming that needs to be reworked, and it's programming that needs to be resolved. And it's like, obviously the work that happens in here and the work that Kez does, a lot of it is ancestral work. So a lot of that comes back, working through, trying to resolve those past traumas that inherited to us, because they're not really ours to own.
No.
Because it takes away us being sovereign souls, being able to be open, because we come with baggage straight away. And that is inherent. That is the task of people. We know, like, that there is a distinction in the tiers of society right now, in today's society, and it's like, and as you didn't ask to be born in Jamaica, I didn't ask to be born in England. They didn't ask to, like, Prince Charles, or King Charles, I guess he now
That's
is.
right.
He didn't ask to be King
No,
Charles.
no.
He just happened to be it.
Yes.
And
there
now
you
he's
go.
like,
Yeah.
well,
So he's got to take all the burden and all the shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
And it's no fault
he didn't
of his
even
own.
fucking make any of the decisions.
No, it was no
Like,
fault of his own.
So, I mean, whatever you think of the man, and I'd like, you know, either whatever happens is at some point a soul has come into a body, which has come into a baby, which has then had to experience and bloom into whoever they're going to be. And I think this is why I love you so much, is because despite anything, despite all of the things, and we've had many conversations and like tragedies, traumas, all of this, you say refuse to lose. You always have. Enemy minds, refuse to lose, be the hero inside yourself. And that is the person that I really want to get deep into. And this is why it's really important for us to go through this historical aspect of your life, because ultimately the painting of your life has gone through so many different stages, but at some point, and I think you've told me this once before, around 18 was when you really got into fitness, really got into your body, maybe 16 even, like, and you really,
I was 10.
really,
Yeah.
So talk me through that, because obviously you're in England. You've been in England 5 years now. You've gone through you've gone through discrimination. You've gone through bullying. You've been all of that. You've moved to Bristol by this point, I'd imagine, right?
Everything. Yeah. Lived in Bedminster, then on Stapleton Road, and then we came onto Woodborough Street, where my parents are now, Eastern. Yeah. And then I was coming from school one evening, and I went into this newsagent shop. And I used to buy comics, DC comics and Marvel comics. I had them all. I had them from number one to thing. And I honestly, this is one thing I regret. My mum, my friend who lives in Canada now, came to my house one day and said, "Oh, could I borrow?" I went there. I was out playing football somewhere at the park with my other friends. And he came to the house and says, could he borrow one of my comics? So my mum gave him the box.
Never saw him again, right?
Never saw him again. And one of those comics is worth like £250,000 because it was the number one issue. I had all the issues. I had the first Superman, the first Batman.
How old were you? Hold on a minute, because we've never discussed the fact that you were a comic book.
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah, there was one called Giant Man. There was I had like all of these kind of things. I had the X-Men. That time the X-Men had the Beast, Cyclops, who used to thing, Angel, one who had wings and all that. Those are the first X-Men. You know the X-Men on the scene now on TV. Nah, man, well, I could show you the original X-Men. I had all these comics. And my mum gave him the box. I don't know, to this day, I couldn't he's in Canada somewhere. I came on one day, I said, "Mum, where's my comics and all them things there?" She said, "Oh, I cry. I used to cry myself to sleep because those was my thing."
So from a young age, obviously you got into comic books and you got into superheroes.
Yeah, because that was my escape to myself, innit?
Yeah, because obviously
because of all the pressure we was going through. So you know what I mean. And then I went into the shop to go and look at these comics, to go and see what comics is there, and at that time we're young kids, innit? So, if you can steal it, you steal it, innit? Because you didn't have much money. You didn't have a lot of money and all that. So, if you can, under the coat and walk out, you know what I mean? And then something else caught my eye this day. And I saw this book. It was a little white book like that. I still got it now. My mum's got it. It's like that. And it was a Bruce Lee book. Serious. And in there was some little matchstick drawings. And this guy was, and I read it, and this guy was, then he had a picture of him. He was doing one finger press-ups. On one hand, one finger press-ups. He was doing press-ups on 2 hands, then he was doing one thumb on one hand doing press-ups. I said, no, that can't be possible. And then he was doing this, what they call the dragon lift, where he's led on the floor, and then he's arched himself up like that, and he can do like bring his legs up and down like that. And I'm just thinking, nah, is that possible? So I looked round and I asked God for forgiveness now a long time ago, and I stole the book. I just took this little book and I ran off. And I ran home. And I called my brother and I said, yo.
So this is 10. This is when you decided.
I'm just going to turn 11 because I'm just going to start secondary school soon. And I just said, yo, look at this. I said, look, what, people can do that shit. I said, well, no, I got to be able to do that and more. I don't want to be like him. I want to be able to do that shit. No, in my head, this is what I said to my brother. And I just said, nah, man, that's what I'm going to do. And that day, never forget it, that day was a day that just changed my life. That's how I took up training, how I am now.
Yeah.
From that day, I just said, nah, that's what I'm doing. And I went to town, and I'm just going to turn 11. I went into town, into the bookshop, and I found books on the skeleton, the circulatory system, the respiratory system. I just got a book. There's a book like that, and it folded it up, and you got the skeleton, then you put the then you put the
so you can put the like nervous system,
the nervous system and everything on there, the muscles and everything. So I got that book. I went and bought that book. I would say done Bobber Job, because we used to do Bobber Job back in the days. It was called, where you just go knock on people's door. Do you need any work? Do you need a car wash? You need a clean this and that? You need me to do anything? It was called Bobber Job in that day. Because I was
get a bob. Do a job.
We used to do, because we was in the Cubs. I was in the Cub Scouts at the bottom of our road. 128 St. Gabriel's. Used to go in there. Our Kayla will do our best. And it was one of those. Lord Baden-Powell started it. And
I was in the Scouts.
So Cubs first, and then you grew up into a Scouts. And we used to go on these camps and earn all these badges. Well, I earned every single badge. Seriously. First aid, camping, knots, tying knots, sheep shank, round turning, 2-hour hitches, clovitch, all those kind of things. Fisherman's knot, I can do them all.
You were just obsessed. Yeah. You were just like...
Yeah. It was just game time. And I was the baddest athlete. Nobody could beat me. Seriously. If I lost the race, I'd cry. They used to call me jet propelled. I had bow legs. I was short, but I was fast as hell.
So how did you do? Like, obviously you had
I straightened my own legs.
You straightened your own legs?
Yeah. Through the training. This is what I'm saying. So I went and got all these books. I didn't just go and get one book. I went and got books on everything. And I got pictures and I put them on the wall in my bedroom. Because my mum and dad gave me the little room, so I had my own room because I was turning 11. And I put all the pictures up there. And I used to come home from school and just lock myself in my room. And I read up. And then I used to train, taught myself everything. I used to lay on the floor and said, how could I do a press up? Because it's called a press up. So you got to press from the floor up. That's how I looked at things. Not a press up. People start from the up and they press down and up. I said, well, it's called a press up. So I laid on the floor, flat. Then I slid my hand under and I said, how could I get up off the floor? This is how I broke myself down. And I had to do it. Like, I couldn't just get up. I had to work through different sections, my hand, my arm, because I had to feel everything how it is. And that's how I've been all my life.
So
that's how disciplined I was, so I could understand it. And then I read about it, so then I had to put a picture to it. So when I'm reading it, I can understand, and I can say yes. Then I felt it, because then I had to feel it to know it. You know, it's all well and good you telling somebody something, but if you ain't done it, how could you really emphasize to them, this is what it's like, this is what you'll feel? How do you know what they're going for when you're telling them, go on, carry on, the pain and all that? That's shit. Have you experienced it? No. So how you know what you're telling me to go through if you haven't been there? Yeah? So I know. Yeah? And that's how, and because I taught myself everything. I was self-taught. And then what's transpired from there, I learned about massages. And then I started thinking, whoa, what? This stuff? Then I went in town and I saw this other book. Sexual
sexual massages.
Yeah, thinking,
all of a sudden you're like, oh,
no,
there's a business idea here.
I'm a teen now, innit? And I'm into,
how old are you, sir?
Now I'm at 14, 15 now.
Right.
And I'm thinking, yo.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Coming into your testosterone.
Yeah. So all these things I'm doing, then I found you got this thing now, sensual and all these kind of things. So now I've gone from that. So I'm going from physical, mental. Now I'm going into the spiritual side now, the sensual side of things.
The love making.
Yeah. So the sensual side, to me, that's spiritual, innit? Because that's an art. You're giving yourself to somebody or somebody. That's special.
Yeah.
But totally as men, we just thought, you just got.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, so that's a really interesting thing, though. From a very early age, 14 years old.
Yeah.
You, because of the fact that you've already started to develop your physicality.
Yeah.
You've been.
And my mindset has changed.
And your mindset is to improve self.
Yes.
So self-mastery.
Yes.
Right?
And I said I want to be the fittest man in the world.
So I mean, look at you now, 68 years old, and like still hasn't changed. You just an enigma, as we've talked about. It's like you just don't change. It's like you'll be 300 and you'll still be the same.
So from there, I took that to the next level. So I thought, whoa. So now I'm looking at it, boy. That's how Casanova was going on.
What, 14 years old?
Yeah, I thought that's how Casanova was going on. Mm-hmm. And then Monday. So I said, well, I better get that knowledge and learn those skills. And this is how I learned. No, it's serious. So I used to get my friends them, my girlfriends them, as we was just boyfriend and going
friends.
out with each other.
Yeah.
You're my boyfriend. In fact, that's my mate.
Yeah.
But that's your friend,
mate
though.
is an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, that is my mate, but actually to mate
that's your boyfriend. Yeah. Right. To mate is to but actually you're my boyfriend.
Yeah. Because we're men. We're men friends.
Yeah, we're men friends. But at the time we was boyfriends.
Yeah.
But because
so you had these girlfriends. And
So I used to invite. They used to come round to my house, and I used to practice on them. No, seriously.
How did that go? At 14?
Yeah, it was brilliant. And I never, nothing untold. I used to just practice on them, and boy, when I used to see what I done to them, and I went, whoa, and I never done nothing. I was just like, and I see how they were reacting, and I see how they were going on. I said, yo. Then I learned about the erotomy zones and all these kind of things. I'm thinking, I'm going to incorporate these things. So in my head, I said, yeah, man, when I start dealing with women, I'm going to have all the skills in the world.
Yeah, 14 years old, mate.
And that's why I'm a badass now. That's how I was a badass. Because when I started dealing with women, right, at about 18, I had all the attributes.
Yeah.
I was skillful.
You've been putting in the work.
Yeah,
from
I was from long time.
Mate,
not just physically, mentally, but every angle. I looked at it and I said, "No, I'm going to be the baddest."
Oh yeah, so how, obviously, that is mad, right? But from such an early age, 14, to be able to have the concept of actual divinity and spirituality through ecstasy, right? So they're tantric, effectively is what they call it now.
Tantric. But you say, I went and got, I never knew what Kama Sutra was, and I went and got these, when I went to a shop and I saw...
But how old were you when you were discovering the Kama Sutra?
I was 14, 15, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. When I went into the shop and I saw these things, I said, no, I have those. When I took them home, and I put them all on my mother came in and said, what?
Take that down. Take that down.
I never knew that.
It's like the equivalent of porno at the time, isn't it? It's like, there's these Indian people having a nice...
Is this how people could get into all these different positions?
It's like, this is why I've been working on my flexibility. Mum, remember I was telling you, like, I really wanted to be flexible. It turns out there was a reason this whole time. Like, I didn't just want to be the fastest and the baddest. I also want to be able
And you know, to this day, my mother's took all those and got in a suitcase locked up somewhere.
Well, she still won't give them to you.
Yeah.
68 years old, she's like, nah.
She still got those. She still, and they were proper photos, color photos, every different single position. It was brilliant.
I think you should go and reunite yourself with those photos. Put them up in your bedroom again. Give your mum that blast from the past.
And that's what defined me. That gave me the discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because I just love training.
Yeah.
And I just loved how it made me feel.
How did you, because obviously, like, it's a very sensitive side of yourself, isn't it? So, like, your self-mastery, it's a very vulnerable place. As we all know, it's like, it's confronting. How did you find, during a period of your life, 14, 15, when England was definitely going through a lot in terms of its racism and cultural and like, you know, you had the skinheads and you had like the rockers,
National
and the mods,
Front,
and National Front, all of that.
And
so on the internal, you're developing a deeper spiritual bond with yourself, but on the external, all of this is going on. And how did you?
Well, we had to put it this way. You had to learn to survive and learn to fight, otherwise you get killed. Mm-hmm. Because imagine you're walking down the road, and some people find this hard to imagine. You're walking down the road, a Cortina or Ford car, Granada pulls up, 6 white guys jumps out, baseball bat, knuckle dusters, and just start beating shit out of you.
Yeah.
Just like that. So you either could run. If you could run, then they couldn't get you. If you couldn't, you tried to stand and fight,
but then it's one
you're
person
still going to
against
get broke
6.
up anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we had to learn to defend ourselves. So then you learn tactics now. So this is where jungle warfare comes in. So if there's 10 of them, and there's 2, 3 of us, we'll look, we'll run, and there have like
Start
2 or 3 quicker
right?
guys, or come away from them. We'll turn around, block them up, and then throw 2 bottles and stone, and then run again, and then catch them off like that, and then just start doing.
Well, you're
them.
having to separate them out because you can't beat 10 people at once.
No, you got to pick your battles, mate.
It's like a wolf when it goes around the herd, right?
Right, and then we started moving as a pack. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then you had to. So now, if there was 5, 6 of us, and there was 10, 15 of them, we're having the war. Because we think that we can take, each one of us can take 2 man each. That's how we felt to ourselves. We're bad enough now. We said, we take 2 man each. I'll take them 2, I'll take you. And we just had it. So we weren't having it.
Do you think that, though? Because obviously that's it's a fucking hostile one, isn't it? It's a very hostile environment. Mm-hmm. Like, and you had to, do you think that in many ways was a big part to play in your wanting to discover the deeper part of yourself, wanting to discover, like, to be a 14-year-old getting into the Kama Sutra and to erotic massage and all that kind of stuff? It's like there's a different person to someone standing going, I'm going to take those 2 guys on. And to have that duality, isn't it? It's like... Yeah,
and fear, because you either stand there and fight or you run.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you had to know when the battle was ready. Because you had to choose. You couldn't just go and take on everything. Because there's something you just look and just say, nah, man, and you run. But if you was with somebody, you either say, we running, and we both run, but you ain't leaving nobody.
Yeah.
You ain't going to run off and leave the man to go.
Just leaving them for dead, basically.
I had fear. I grew up with fear. Yeah? Because that's like you walk and you're fearful that you walk, the next minute you see a sign on the door of this pub or this building, no dogs, Irish, Chinese or blacks allowed, in big, bold writing. You know, you couldn't go certain places and all them kind of things. People had a stigma about us. So we congregated amongst ourselves and things. And we had a community back in those days. Now we're all fragmented. They've just done us again. They fragmented us now. So we hate each other. We kill each other. Now they don't have to do anything. So,
Well,
but we had to work. So you had all those things. So I never liked to fight. And that's the honest truth. I don't like to fight. Because I don't actually like to hurt people. But I became like that.
But if you have to.
Yeah, I became like that. Because even one time I was bullied at school because I was short. I ain't grown much anyway, but people used to bully me. And I used to hate it because I used to have short man syndrome, as they call it. People used to be talking down to me. And I thought, you just talking down to me or you talking to me? So I was always having a fight. People was always beating me up. And I said, why are you always, you're bigger than me. Why are you bullying me? Why don't you fight the guy who's the same size as you? But it was like that. They always would bully me until one day I just got mad. And I stood up to all the bullies that used to bully me. And I just said, nah, that's enough, mate. Because it comes to a time when you corner something and it just you just keep beating it. Comes a time when one day you just says, that's it.
So then you obviously, there's two stages there, isn't there? You've got the initial part, which is the not able to stand up for yourself in any healthy way, to an explosion of standing up for yourself, probably also in an unhealthy way, and then finding back the balance of boundary. And how long did that take
I became,
you?
But then the bully became the bully.
So then you started...
Yeah. Then I started...
And how long did that go on for?
Well, a couple of years, I suppose. I can't remember. One day I just said, nah, man. I just looked at myself. I said, nah, man. And I never forget it. I was outside my mum's house. And there was a youth came up the road. And we had a disagreement. And he wanted to fight. And I just kicked him down. And I didn't just kick him down. I just took a chain and put it across his face and stood on it. And I was thinking, and then something just came to me and said, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What the hell am I doing? I'll never forget it. I said, what the hell am I doing?
So all of that fear, all of that, hate and anger and suppression.
Yeah, and he was white. He was a white person. And he was always going on away to me and all that. And I just took it and I just stopped and I picked him up and I says, nah, man. I said, sorry. And I just said, no, because that's not who I am.
Yeah. So
that ain't honestly who I am.
And that was the moment that
I stopped being a bully.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the bully became the bully. Somebody who was bullied, then you become, and they says that, you know what I mean? Yeah. You become that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can honestly say, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, then as we progress into our masculinity and we progress into our lives, we start to recognize and realize that actually the people that were doing the bullying were probably getting bullied at home and they were going through stuff, and it's all an expression. It's always just it's there's no balance, right?
No,
it's pressure here, something here, pressure here, something here, pressure here, something here,
social pressure, or you know, our peers, or being in a group, and you know, your own pressure. It's mad.
So seriously. Then you were bullied, you became the bully, and now you found yourself again. And with all this training, with all the work, at what point do you think it flipped over to just being like, well, I'm just going to be positive all the time? Because you are positive all the time.
Yeah.
When did that happen? Like what caused that? Because it couldn't. No, like, it wasn't just the moment.
I'll tell you why I became that person. The strength that I got now, and why I became. When I was at school, we knocked off of school one day, and this girl, she was going to Lock Leeds. I used to go to Whitfield Boys School, yeah, and there was this girl. And it's
always a girl, isn't it?
Yeah. And to me, she was the most beautifulest thing I ever seen. I thought, fuck, wow. I like to have that. I like to have that girl. Yeah. I'm fifth year now, so I'm nearly 16, innit? So one day, it so happened, my mates, them, and Chaplin Road, because I lived in Woodbury Street, they live in Chaplin Road, we controlled Eastern. These girls came to his house, and I happened to be in his house. he's dead now, God rest his soul. We buried him about 6-7 months ago, Royston. I'm in the house, and this girl's come in there with her friend. And I thought, nah, this is it. I said, no. And my mate said, yeah, man, she's here.
But she only likes really happy people, so...
No, so she's there. So me and her went, so I went in, we went in the bedroom together, in a bedroom. Bro, I kid you not. I sat there and I couldn't even talk. I froze, I couldn't do nothing.
So all of the training, all of the self-mastery, all of the like practicing on your mates, all of this massage, everything like that, you face to face with
went out the window.
Face to face with the goddess.
I couldn't even talk.
Well, yeah.
For about 10, 15, I was just there, just looking. I just didn't know what to say. Then after a while, I started talking to her, but I never kissed her. I didn't do nothing. I was and we was in there for hours. Let's just chatting. I was just chatting in the end. I was just chatting.
So eventually you broke the silence and could talk. And
and I was just chatting. Yeah. But I never kissed her.
Didn't make a single move.
Then I'm nearly 16, testosterone's flying around. This is the girl I wanted and all that, and I got the chance and I did nothing. I didn't even kiss her. And then my mates come in, she said she had to go, and when my mates come, said, wow, what you got on, Bridget? I said, I done nothing, mate. I said, I lost it. I said, I froze. I didn't do nothing. And they said, what, you never kiss her? I said, I didn't do nothing. Seriously. And that day, that was what changed me as a person. I said, that'll never happen to me again. Mm-hmm. And that's when I really seriously went into, I got those books on the art of seduction, all these kind of thing, on my training. I just trained and I got myself confidence in that. And my star sign is that proud guy who can just heart and soul.
Yeah.
But I wasn't living it because of fear or whatever. Now I overcame that. That day changed me.
Yeah. And
I became the man.
And was it like an immediate switch?
Yes. From that day, because when I told myself that could never happen again, that won't. That's the strength I got within myself. If I said I'm going to do something and I said, no, that's not, I'm changing this, then I change it.
So this is something that I really admire about you. Like refuse to lose, enemy mind, all of that, like your whole, all of the ethos. So obviously when we met, you literally dragged me in around the gym and you got me to sign up to Olympic triathlon, and I didn't, but somehow the belief that you had in me helped me believe in myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think to know that you've had that from such an early age, and it was like it was a trigger, like bang, no, I'm not having that anymore.
Yeah.
What would you say? Because obviously we live in a world now, especially now, of quite a lot of uncertainty, quite a lot of mental illness, quite a lot of people who aren't comfortable. They're
no confidence in themselves.
No confidence. Yeah. What would you say to those people?
They have to change the mindset of how they see themselves. You see, if you don't change your mindset of how you see yourself at this moment in time, nobody can make a difference to you. Yeah. So what I can only talk from my perspective. What I do, I give somebody the key to unlock themselves. I give them a different look at how they see themselves. Because what I do, I put a suggestion to them. So they look at themselves and think, you know what? I could resonate with that. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden now, I can make a difference to them. Because if you don't change their mindset for that moment, you can never instill nothing in them good for them to be better. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So you have to look at yourself, and I mean this sincerely, everything about yourself, because I can hold my hand up when I do wrong, I look at that now and I can just say, nah, man, I was out of order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if I do wrong to somebody, I won't fight you. If you came to me with violence, I wouldn't fight you because I just think that I was out of order.
Right. Okay.
And if that's how you choose to be, then I'll have to accept that.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I'll have to accept that because you can't be wrong and strong.
Well, because then you're just...
No, but then you never win. You haven't won, have you?
Well, if you're wrong and strong, then
No.
you're effectively trying to create an authoritarianism. aren't you?
Right.
So you're like...
You got to be right and strong, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to stand in pure, in essence, in pure within yourself, man. Otherwise, you can't be that person that you say you want to be if you're just, you're doing bad. But then, I'm cool.
But what do you do? Is there like any practices or rituals that you go through in order to maintain that strength? Because obviously, like everyone, and you especially, well, like everyone, you go through ups and downs in your life. And there's, even in the last few years, there's been a lot going on, but yet you still maintain everything, the whole, all of your essence.
All ethos
like you
of
don't. So what are you doing to maintain that?
Myself. What I do, I still stay me. I'm true to me. Because my dad told me, God rest his soul, 10 months now he's been gone. You know, suddenly, that's tragic. But I have to hold that and control that. But he always told me, your word should be everything to you. Saying you're a man and being a man is two different things. Yeah? Your word got to be your bond. If you don't believe in your own word, how do you expect somebody else to believe in what you tell them?
Yeah.
Because if you don't honor your own word, so if you say
you are what you do, not what you say you do, right?
Right. So if I say to myself, I'm going to do this, and I don't,
then you're just letting yourself down.
Then I'm supposed to be pissed off with myself because I should have done that. Because if I went to you and you said to me, oh wait, I'm going to do this for you, I'll see you tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and you didn't, I'm going to get pissed with you.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm going to say,
because
no,
I've
man.
given you an expectation.
Yeah.
And I've not lived up to the expectation.
Yeah. So if I say something to myself, then I'm supposed to be pissed with myself when I don't do it. So if I don't honor my own words to myself, then how could I go to you and say to you, blah, this? Because then that means I don't honor my own words. So my words to you is worth nothing. Seriously, my words won't mean nothing. So I had to honor my word. So I look at myself when I says to myself, and I look at myself like now, I'm in the process of thinking, I need to change a few things. Because I've been comfortable in where I've been and just, cool. Because I stop appreciating who I am. Seriously. I stop appreciating who I am.
So you get complacent.
Yeah. And I just prove I'm still a human being. I'm not that machine that they all think I am. But,
Yeah.
You know, so I had a malfunction. I got, and I just think, yeah, cool. But then when I started looking at things, I said, you know what? I need to change things. And only me could change it. I have to change the way I see myself at this moment in time and what I feel that I need to do for me, not for nobody else, for me. Because if I change my perspective of how I see myself, then I could change things, then I could make things different. Yeah, for me. So if I make things change for me, and I see myself in a different way, and I make feel good about myself now and all that, then I'll make everybody else feel good about themselves. Because that's what I think we all should do, and that's what I do. I encourage people, and I change. So I said, no, I need to change certain things about myself. But I will never, whatever I'm going through, I won't project that onto you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the art I got, which is it's a rare gift.
Did it take? Again? Was that something that just happened, or did it take cultivation? Did it take? Like,
put it this way, I woke
up
one day and God gave me these gifts and God gave me the strength And I got to honestly say that you see, things, the universe, whichever way you want to call it, I'm not a religious person, but I believe in God. Yeah. I believe in the higher forces. Yeah. So what you put out is what you will send back to you. Yeah. So I always think I put out positiveness. I don't like negativity. When somebody talks negative to me, I turn it around into positive. Because I always say to them, well, look at this side of it then. Why are you looking at that side? I said, change your mindset and just switch it and look at it from this point of view. So I said, we can't always see things, we can only see through our own eyes, but sometimes we have to put ourselves in somebody else's position and look at it from their perspective and through their eyes. And when you can do that, so when you learn how to be one with yourself, and be one with yourself is to meditate with oneself, yeah? Because they always want to say all these things is, oh, you need to be going through, you need to take this course and that course. That's all. That's just for the commercialness. It's the controlling of, oh, if you don't get this piece of paper, or you ain't this, you're not qualified to do. That's all bullshit. That's a systematic thing for their thing. Yeah. Each person is their own person. It depends what you choose to want and what you bought yourself into. If you plugged yourself into their mainframe, then you'll do what they want you to be, and you'll do how they want you to react. You'll carry on the way they want you to. Yeah. If you unplug yourself from their mainframe, then you'll become who you're supposed to be and not what they want you to be. Then you find your true self. You find your true essence. You become who you're supposed to be. You think for yourself, which is a great human commodity, which is unique, because we can all be a unit. But what makes us unique? We could be individuals and think for ourselves. Yeah. And that's what they want to stop us thinking for ourselves, because how they constructed the world, they don't want a world of thinkers. They want a world of workers. Because if they have thinkers, then their world crashes. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because like effectively, as we know and as we've talked about, it's like slavery ended, but all that happened is the net got bigger and
they just took the chains away.
The term slave just got changed.
Yes.
It's just like, like, you know,
we're not going to our phones.
Yeah, we're not going to chain you up anymore.
Yeah. We'll give you phones.
Yeah, we'll just give you phones, and we'll give you like here's a load of stuff that you need to buy, and
laptops.
Exactly.
Control. Yeah. Oh, I need to buy this. I need to buy that. So we're slaves.
Social acceptance
to their stuff.
Well, they're like, and how much of it makes people happy? And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like when you look at, as we said earlier, as I said, we were on the walk. We were like, ain't no one, no matter how much money you've got, on their deathbed going, God, I wish I'd had more board meetings. Or I wish you know what, I wish I'd made more phone calls to get more money. Or like,
none of them says
all
that.
of them are just like, I wish I'd spent more time with the people I love.
With the people I love.
Like spent more time on myself and like self-development.
Done more things and all that. All I've done was work and running down this.
Of course,
and
we've got a crisis of confidence, like, and a mental health crisis in the country right now, because what we're prioritizing, no one isn't actually good for the soul.
And we've done that. They've conditioned us, but we still have a choice, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah? We've bought into that.
Yeah.
So until you unbring yourself out of it, you will always be in it.
But it's funny, isn't it? It's like, you know, you get AI and AI comes along, and instead of it fucking stacking the dishwasher for me or like taking my dog for a walk, it's making music. It's doing the things, it's making movies, it's making art. It's doing the things that people can actually find spiritual involvement with and connect with on an emotional and spiritual level. And it's going, oh yeah, so this is what we're going to start with. By the way, but it doesn't have the soul that a human delivers for music. It doesn't have the soul that a human delivers for art. But for some reason, like whatever psychopath thought about this, instead of like making it do accounting or like web development really well, let's do all of that stuff. They do all the creative stuff.
Or find out how to feed the world properly.
Yeah.
And make the world to save the planet.
Yep.
They're just doing different things.
Yeah. But instead it's like, oh, well, you know, we can generate this image now, which now it saves you buying an artist and like someone who's spent hours
Well, they
and
got a few drones going
dedication.
around dropping things on people.
Yeah.
Because that's what they use AI as well for, isn't it?
But that's the thing, and it's like all to keep us numb,
Yeah.
away from the reality, isn't it?
And that's
Like-
where I come along, because I don't try. My job is I do. What I give out, because I want people to be aware of who they are. That's all. I ain't got no magic wand. Like I said, I woke up one day and I had these gifts. What I was preparing myself for whatever was to come to me. And then I woke up one day and I had all these gifts. I had healing hands. I could fix people. I could do things, and it was just mad. And somebody asked me, "How did I do?" I just said I was woke up one day and I just had these powers. I just had these. I could just do these things. I could just look at somebody, stood up, and I just said to them, "Don't tell me nothing," and I could just go on their body and I could find wherever the point where they got the injury or whatever. I just knew that. It was just mad, and I could just say, "Yeah," and I just do two things. The next minute, I think, "Whoa," you know what I mean? I got that gift, but for a while, I shut that gift down because of like things that has happened, lockdown, these things, and dealing with different things, and looking at myself and losing my daughter. I still didn't really actually get over that. So I'm dealing with that, and my dad. I've been dealing with things, but I've never stopped me from being me. I've always, I will always say hello to people. I will always have that smile. I will always be that person, because I think that's who I am. I've always been that person. Because from when I was a kid, my friend, when the teacher asked me what do I want to do with my life, I said I want to make a difference to the world. That's what I said to them. I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I just want to make the world a better place." And you know what I mean? I just want to be good so I could be good to others and just make the world a better place. I want to save the world. That's what I said. And my mates, who still alive, says that to me now. "You still trying to save the world?" I said, "Yeah." Because I've always been like that. I've always been that guy. You know what I mean? I've always been that loving spirit guy who had that spirit all my life. You know what I mean? Certain things has happened where I had to do other things and all them things, but I've never lost the essence of who I am. Yeah? No matter what I was doing, I never stopped myself from training. I never stopped training. I've never been ill in my life. You know what I mean? I've got eye problems and things like that. I've come through all of that. You know what I mean? I've had disappointments where I couldn't do the things I wanted to do because of my eye. I couldn't go. I would have probably be a SAS man in the army, but I couldn't go in there. I smashed the course record physically, but then when we went when we went into the night and shooting, I'd have shot my own man and all things like that because of my eye. I didn't know about it at that time, so that stopped me from that. So that pissed me off. I was upset about that.
How old are you then? 18?
Yeah. Then I wanted to, and then I was training, so I was boxing and all that. I was good. I could have been a boxer. And when they test me, they said, "Boy, if you get punched in your eye, you'll be blind. So is it worth having millions and blind?" So I said, "Nah." So they wouldn't grant me a license, so that pissed me off again. But I had to overcome all of those things, yeah? And everything else with it, racism, can't get a job because you're black and this and all these kind of things, and you've been after, and then you find yourself in a world where that's where they wanted you to be. Yeah? In the bad world, drugs, all these kind of things. So you became in that world, prostitution world, all these kind of things. You was in that dark world. Yeah? Because that's the road where you was at the time. That's where you was. So you can't look and say, at that time, that's the decision I made, because at that time, that's what I needed to do whatever I needed to do. So I was in that world. You know what I mean? And then, but I never lost the essence of who I was. And then one day I just looked and I just saw my conscience came back. I said, what am I actually doing? Nah, this ain't what I'm about. I'm that guy who wants to save the planet and do good for others. Why am I perpetrating and being those people that I despise because they're giving people drugs, they're killing people, all those kind of things. Why am I helping being part of that stuff? See, you got to go through stage, but you got to be honest with yourself.
So, because
You know
that
what I
gives
mean?
that gives you an understanding.
Yeah.
Once you then moved through and out of that, did you find that your because obviously the person that you are, do you find that movement encouraged people that you were with in that life to also move away from it, to make not repentance, but to like to shift?
Yeah, some of them did. Some of them stayed in there until it killed them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because they started messing about with their own stuff. Yeah. It was a world that I seen both sides of that world. You know what I mean? And it's like, so in my head and in my heart, I said, nah, man, I got to save I actually need to save people from going down these roads and save people from themselves. So my thing is, I talk to people and I encourage them to exercise, not just physically, mentally as well. Because I said you mentally got to be strong to be physically able, and then that frees the spirit so you can achieve what you need to achieve. So you can't have one without the other. So it's mind and body as one, so your spirit is able to be free so it can do its thing. Otherwise, if your mind and body ain't one, your spirit is trapped and it don't know where it's going. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So you're just like, so we're just hitting walls. Turn every time you turn, you're just hitting a wall. So you can't get out. The spirit is trapped. We trapped ourselves. So opening the mind and looking at yourself differently, just taking that moment to say, you know what? I need to start taking care of myself better than I think I am.
Yeah.
I need to start making decisions and stop making excuses to justify why I'm doing. Yeah, because that's what we do, innit?
That's the thing that we're very good at.
Yeah, we'll make excuse to justify why we're doing. We know eating McDonald's or whatever, and I'm just saying it, Miss Millie, all that shit. We know it's shit, but yet we'll justify ourselves to eating it. Oh, it's all right. It's not going to hurt them, or we give
it's
our
only
kids.
now.
Yeah,
it's only just for now. It's
yeah,
like, it's easy.
You know what I mean?
And
but then it gets bigger and bigger. Then it just becomes the norm.
Yeah, and before you know it, McDonald's, junk food, sugars all the time.
Yes. Yeah, and we justify why we do that.
Consumption.
Yeah,
isn't it?
And then we watch ourselves getting fat, getting ill, and then we say, oh yeah, and then we go to the doctor and expect them to give us a magic wand, but they're not. They're going to give you more poison to just kill you off because they're bought into the pharmaceutical company who they work for to distribute their stuff to control us and kill us and do those things. So so what I do, I just says, no. You need to look at yourself and change your mindset and take one step at a time. Change your mind. Tell yourself, I need to do this for me. Not for me. You need to do it for you. That's what you have to tell yourself, because I can't tell you. I can say it to you, but you still have the choice.
Yeah.
I can't force you, and I stopped doing that. See, this is why I've said I've learned about myself and I became a better person then. Because before I used to say, that's why I used to just, nah, you just need to do it. Nah, you're full of shit. Nah, you ain't. Now I don't do that, because then that's not really encouraging somebody to do something, is it? You're just like...
You're just calling them out.
Yeah.
And like people hate being called out, don't they?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make them inspire them to be oh yeah, cool.
No.
You see me, and like the recognition is there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I encourage them to look at themselves. And I just said, just take a moment. Yeah? Just look at yourself, how you are. I don't mind about your job or whatever. I said, look at you. I said, that job ain't no good without you. That position you're in ain't no good without you. So you need to stop putting yourself on the back burner and stop putting everything else before you. Start making you be the priority and everything behind you. Yeah? Because if you don't do that, you'll crash and burn.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well,
you'll crash and burn.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You can't pour from a half-empty glass.
No. You'll crash and burn.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make you priority number one, then how the hell you going to be able to do the things that you need to do? All you'll be doing is complaining, and then you just burn out.
And you can fool yourself into it.
Of course
as well,
you do.
can't you?
Of course you do. You know
I mean, I remember when I lived in St. Paul's, like I fooled myself into thinking that this is like everything, you know? I can go at everything as at 100 miles an hour. Like whether it's drinking, whether it's training, whether it's drugs, whatever it is. I can do it 100 miles an hour and I'm indestructible. But the reality is, it just doesn't work because everything has a cost.
Yeah.
Everything comes at a price.
Yeah.
Except the only thing that doesn't have a cost and the only thing that doesn't come with a price is training yourself.
100%.
Is sitting with themselves.
Gives you, it enhances you.
Yeah. It doesn't actually, it doesn't take away.
No, there's no side effects.
No. In fact, it
just gives you the
more.
best side effects ever.
More energy. You want more energy?
Yes.
Fuck cocaine.
Yeah. Seriously. Release your dopamine. Release your serotonin. Release your testosterone. Release your own feel-good drugs inside yourself by just mind exercising, physical exercising. That's all you need to do. Yeah. And then you release the spirit, and then all of them comes together, and then you absolutely feel you.
Yeah.
You embody yourself. Because a lot of people ain't in their bodies. You know what I mean? That's what they're not. Most people is fragmented. They're not in their bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Imagine we're in a skin, but we're not fitted in it.
Well, there's
we're not fitted in it.
Well, there's in the shamanic tradition that I studied and looked at. There's a thing called soul loss, and it's soullessness. So effectively, when you are going through something that is traumatic, your soul can leave your body, and you can lose parts of your soul.
Okay.
And it can bits of your soul can be fragmented off, and that is I think the pain of trying to fit into an existence that isn't actually made for you. And not prioritizing, our education system does not prioritize.
Come on.
It doesn't prioritize.
It's one cap fits everything.
Well, yeah, it's one cap fits everything, but it also doesn't prioritize physical fitness.
No.
It doesn't, it doesn't prioritize mental health, really. Even.
No.
What it prioritizes is 1 times 1 equals 1 or whatever the fuck. It's like A, B, C, D. Are you going to make a good robot for.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. But
you fit into our world, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
But it don't actually deals with life itself.
Yeah.
What you've created.
The essence.
Because remember, from where I'm coming from to where you're coming from, so imagine I've seen things what you haven't seen.
Yeah.
You'll read about them, but I've lived them.
Yeah.
And I'm still here in your world now. What you've born into. So, but I'm still here and I'm in your world now. So I've come through 2-3 decades, 10 years. So I've been on this planet for nearly 68 years.
Yeah.
My parents have been on the planet 90 odd years. Yeah. My mom is 88. My dad was 91. There's people that's been on there for 100 years. So they've seen all that generation of what they've come through and still hold and still have their mindset and still have their faculties and still have still got a heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. Seriously. That's where I'm at. And I've come through all of those things, traumas, the most wickedest things to go through, and I can talk that. I'm not reading about it. It's not like I've read in a book.
Yeah.
I've lived it.
Yeah.
So I can write the book.
Well, there's two things.
Yeah, I could write the book.
There's experiential knowledge.
Yeah.
And there's learnt knowledge.
Yes.
Isn't there?
Right.
And
I've lived it all. So what I'm saying today, what we've been talking about, is what I've lived.
Yeah.
I'm talking for me.
But
I
that's-
couldn't talk for you. I'm talking for me.
Yeah.
And me and you sat down here as brethren, and we're just talking, like.
But that's the river of your life that has made, like, as rivers flow, and
like
they
water, my
and they
friend.
move through the earth, and they smooth out the stones, and they carve their way to find,
and they adapt and overcome wherever they are.
Yeah, exactly. Like the water keeps coming.
Yeah, and it keeps flowing.
And it keeps flowing. And it's the beautiful thing, I think, is that throughout all experience, and this is because this is rare. Like, this does not happen all the time. No. So many people get caught up on a stick, or they get caught up, they're flowing down the river, and all of a sudden there's a wall, and they're like, oh no, like, well, I better create a dam. So then their divinity gets petered down into being a very small percentage of who they are, and the rest of them is just a big brick wall. But you have hit many walls, and instead of letting those walls define you and turn you and like shape, well, they have shaped you, but instead of letting them define you, you've moved past it. And I think that is, well, that's the reason why I think you're amazing, obviously.
Yeah, because, you know, I've been through things, I've upset people, you know what I mean? I've done things which at the time I didn't even know, because some things you can do because you didn't even realize you haven't dealt with certain things in your life, what you came through tragedy, and it makes you do things and you don't even realize it, and you get yourself into issues. And like, I've never, and I can honestly say this, gone out of my way to do wrong to people. But wrongs have happened. Yeah? Circumstances, different things and whatever. But I've never set out to hurt nobody intentionally. I never set out to do anybody a wrong intentionally. But circumstances and different environments and different things, what you've gone through, contributes to how that decisions you've made or the actions that you've taken results in that way. So, like, I've been, to anybody that I've upset or anything, I apologize, and I've been apologizing to people when I see them. If I ever done you harm, or if I didn't, it was not intentional. At the time I went of myself, or I was going through certain thing, I apologize for that. You know what I mean? And you try, because you have to forgive yourself. If you don't forgive yourself, how could you be forgiven?
But
you know what I mean?
This is the thing, isn't it? It's like, you have to forgive yourself, but you can't forgive yourself against yourself. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You have to forgive, like, yourself for the things that have happened and the situation, because, like, a lot of it's out of your control.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But
you don't beat yourself up.
But you can't forgive yourself for constantly living in the darkness. No. Because that doesn't get you out into the light, does it?
No. And you have to accept that. That's what I done. That was a situation, boom. And that was part of who I am. And that's what made me who I am today. That was part of what made me the person I am, because you look at things differently now. I look at things differently now, and I become a better person than I used to be. I can honestly say that. And I've always been a heartily loving, good person, but it's just more magnified now. You know what I mean? Because I've always said I've always been a nice person, always. Seriously.
Yeah.
Violence and war or not being nice was hard for me to do. Seriously. I don't like.
Well, I don't think it's a
being
natural
horrible
thing. I don't think it's a natural thing for anyone, is it?
No, I don't like being horrible. I don't like being. No, I don't. I like being nice. I just like being nice.
Yeah.
I just think being nice is nice. It just makes me feel good.
Feels good.
Yeah, no, it makes me feel good, bro. And anything that makes me feel good is good. Yeah. That's how I see things. What makes me feel good is good for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So that says that can only be good for you. And anybody who's around me, that can only be good for them. Because if I'm feeling good, then everything is good. So you have to feel good within your own self Don't look for me to make you feel good, because if you ain't feeling good, then there's something wrong with you. You need to look at yourself and say, why am I not feeling good? Yeah? You have to ask yourself that, because only you can be feeling good. You have to bring goodness with yourself, happiness with you, which are like, where we got a relationship as man friend, but we only bring goodness.
Yeah.
I only bring love in my heart. So if I brought sadness to you, you wouldn't be around me.
Well,
or you just think, nah, we'd just be that kind of thing. So
no, so I would disagree with that for a bit, right? And the reason why is because if you were to bring me, as my friend, if you were to bring me sadness, then I would bring you support.
Yeah, all right. I'll take that back. What I meant is, like, there's people that just totally horrible, isn't it?
Well, if constantly, right?
Yeah.
So if you're unresolving...
I take that back. I'll rephrase that because if you came to me and you brought sadness, I'll give you support.
Right, and you'd ask me about what can I do to help?
Of course.
Yeah. But if I was consistently coming with sadness or consistently coming with problems, because like sadness is one thing, right? So we'll remove that. But if I'm constantly bringing negativity, my internal negativity to your door, then after a while, there comes a time where you go,
I've got to put a shield up.
Yeah. You're
because
like, I can't.
You're not dealing with your own thing.
Yeah.
You offload it to me for me to carry it for you, but you're not actually dealing with it. You will just keep on coming and giving it to me. Yeah. That's like somebody who, they're a fisherman. Yeah. So, but you just keep giving them the fish instead of giving them a net or a rod and say, go and catch the fish.
Yeah. Teach a man to fish. Or...
Yeah. You understand me?
Yeah.
But if I keep giving you something, then why would you stop? If I keep taking it, you'll just keep, I'll just stay here because you just bring me the fish.
Well, and some people just are like, they get into a cycle of wanting, like, it feels like that's the only thing that they have to offer. You know, I've just got my problems. So I'm just going to give you my problems.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and you're like, okay, cool. So I'll give you some, just like my experience and what I'm doing, and hope that they go on and begin to flourish.
They can resonate with something that, you know what I mean? Because my dad always say, and my mum, you pick sense from nonsense, because it's not everything you might think I'm talking is sensible, but there's something in there you might think, you know what, that makes sense to me. And that could just that could be the trigger for you to change your path.
Yeah. It is. It's those little moments, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, as you say, when it all flipped for you, in that moment when you're sat there with the goddess that you wanted to be with, and it's like, you can't even speak. It's like, I ain't doing that again. It ain't happening. And it was that. But so
there's loads of little things in my life that's happened like that. It's just crazy, man. Seriously.
So I'd like to ask, in terms of 5 core principles that you think anyone could benefit from. 5 core principles that they could sit and think about, meditate on, take action on, incorporate into their lives. 5 things.
Well, the first thing I would always say, from you wake up in the morning, you should be happy. And I really mean that, because it's not a given for you to wake up every morning. So when you wake up, you should always have a smile on your face, because that's the gift of life you've just been given. So you should be happy. If that can't make you happy, then nothing will make you happy. You're supposed to
I'm just thinking of the amount of times I've woken up and I'll be like, oh, I'm so fucking tired.
Yeah, you're supposed to be happy.
Yeah.
And whatever you choose to do with your life now, in that day, that moment, it's a bonus. But the choice is yours. But you should be happy. And you should bring that happiness, because you're alive. You woke up. And then you, now I have to focus my mind? Yes. Now I have to prepare my body? Yes. Now I have to free my spirit? Yes. I have to make me all right first. Even if I have kids, I got to be first. because without me, they need me until they're old enough to take care of themselves. So I have to make sure I'm all right so I don't falter and take it out on them. Because if I'm not all right, I'm going to scream at them, shout at them, I'm going to react differently, and it's all going to be chaos. And because I haven't loved myself or given myself the nurturing and time that I need to give to myself to be able to deal with my day. And whatever I choose, whatever my life is, if I got kids, then I have to focus and make sure mentally, physically, I'm prepared. Yep. I got kids, I got to get up. They ain't no good at saying, oh, no. I brought them into the world, they need me. It's not their fault. I brought them into the world. So stop making it be a problem. Yeah? Stop making it be an issue. If you choose a work, stop making your work be an issue. You chose that work. You know what it entails. Prepare yourself. Because if you don't prepare yourself, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's simple.
So 1 is wake up happy.
Yes.
2 is prepare the self.
Yes.
Okay.
Yourself first. Mentally. Okay. Physically. Given. All these things is a given. You have to. And spiritually. Because that's what makes us who we are.
Yeah.
Yeah? So those are 4 things. And then to be, you're who you're supposed to be.
So,
and not what others want you to be.
Okay. So those are the 5. Wake up happy.
To me, just one. You just wake up.
It's just one, really, isn't it?
Just wake up happy and be happy because...
Prepare yourself, be with self.
And be.
And do what you're supposed to do. Which isn't doing what, like, you feel like you have to do.
There you go. Be what you're supposed to be and what you want to be, not what others want you to be.
Yeah.
Yeah? So if you're a parent, be a parent, and you got a job, you got to do that. So prepare myself first, boom, wake up, okay, don't panic, don't rush. I'm happy because I woke up. Yes. Okay. Get my parent myself, got my kids, got to get them up, got to get them ready, boom. Go, boom, boom. No panic, boom. That's how I've always been like that. I don't panic about nothing. I just, yeah, cool. Because otherwise, you're going to react differently. Yeah. You're going to scream and shout and all that. And it's not their fault.
No. Well, it's like...
Why? And then you stop them from being what they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's when the conditioning
don't run around.
comes in.
Oh, sit down. Don't do this. Hang on a second. What are they supposed to? That's what they're supposed to be doing.
But to learn the flow, isn't it? It's like, it's one of the things like I love when Shia wakes up. He's 2.5. And he just wakes up and he's like, yeah, I'm here. And that is...
But he's happy.
He's happy straight away. He just wants you to be up with him.
He just
wants to play with you.
There, and he's just happy.
Yeah. He's just happy.
He don't look for you to make him happy. He's happy.
Yeah. And he wants to share his happiness with you.
There you go.
That's it.
There ain't no 5 things, bro. It's just one great thing.
Be happy.
When you wake up, be happy.
When you wake up, be happy.
Yeah, seriously. When you're happy from in there, your heart, you're happy with the world.
Yeah.
When you're happy in there, you're happy with the world, bro.
Because it ain't a given.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Well, who needs 5 when you've got 1?
And I always say, just be happy.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because don't look for people to make you happy. You just got to be happy. Because you woke up.
So simple, isn't it? It's like just to be actually grateful and happy that you're awake.
Come on.
Yeah.
And we ain't got bombs dropping on our heads.
Yeah. I mean, that is...
Appreciate those things. And make a difference. When you're happy, do something good.
It is, I mean, in those situations that it's hard to be, it would be hard to take this advice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But they do.
And to do anything else.
They do.
Yeah, they do. They do.
The same.
And actually,
the same. I've been through my shit,
yeah.
but I still stayed happy because I never allowed. We just prepared ourselves to deal with our day, so we prepared ourselves, so we're prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we know we might get attacked and all them things, so we prepared. But it never stopped us from being happy.
Well, because otherwise you're living in fear, aren't you?
Then you're living in fear, you know. And I used to live like that.
And which means you allow people to control you,
right?
And if you allow people to control you, then what are you?
Then you're not.
Then you're not in control. And if you're not in control, then you're not you.
Then you're not you.
And then yeah. So, where can people find you, H? Where can the people find you?
Well,
Eastfield Park, right? 9 a.m. Be there.
Well, if this podcast does anything, then they can always, come and find me, innit? I'm gonna have to use the technology. My kids keep telling me, Dad, you need to just use it. So, I might have to do that. But like the Evans, the universe will bring you to me or bring me to you when I'm needed.
But if you do want to find him, he's in Eastfield Park.
But if you do want to find me, I'm in Eastfield Park.
Most mornings.
In Bristol. Most mornings. So...
You're not online other than that, are you? Like, you don't have Instagram or...
I have, actually. I've got a Facebook, BH Fitness, and I've got Enemy Minds.
Is that an Instagram account?
Yeah, Facebook account.
That's okay,
and and I got Instagram. But I want to, you see, I was here before the technology came. All my kids were born in the technology, so to them it's easy. To me, I have to learn about it. But you see, some things I don't even want to... I don't want to get drawn into that thing.
Don't want to learn about it.
Yeah, because then I stop being who I am and then I stop thinking for my own self.
Well, because all of a sudden you're just in the trap that they're trying to create for you.
Yeah.
Again, isn't it? It's
you know what I mean? And I try to have that balance where I'm not controlled by...
Where do you put your consciousness?
You understand me?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Because it's frightening sometimes. I said to my kids, nah, man, and they're just like, well, they might as well just be in the phone. Just get in the phone, I says to them. Because they're just on the phone. I said, they might as well just get in the phone. Because the phone has got into you lot. Yeah. It's already in you. So you might as well just climb in the phone now and just say, I'm the phone.
Yeah. It's that deep. Social media, it's a fucking hilarious word. Social.
Yeah.
Media. It's social. It's so social. What is social? Social is to be in community. Social is to be with people. What is media? Well, media is fucking completely different. Media is content. And it's like, media is something that I consume.
Yeah.
And now I've got social and media together. Fuck. Like, now I just have to sit here going, I wonder what Deborah's up to.
But we've just bought into that. Yeah. We're not even seeing it no more. Because everybody just bought into that. No, I've got all these followers. I said, which followers?
Yeah.
What, do you know anybody? No, I said, so how do you interact with people? Oh, yeah, I'm just sending...
Well, every time I post something, they all like it. That's not a two-way fucking conversation. It's like, that's just validation. It's like, well done. It's like, look, I posted a picture of a cappuccino. I got 10,000 likes. So what? Yeah? Cool. Do you reckon it was an amazing picture of a cappuccino? Or like, was it average? Like, what was it? Like, are you now going to be the world's leading forefront on cappuccino pictures? Like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah. Social media.
It does what it does.
I appreciate that you can be found in Eastfield Park. I think that's what I appreciate. Because to be found anywhere else is hard. I mean, this podcast, as you say, whatever it does, it'll do what it does, but it ain't going to do anything because I'm going to be going, hey, come and check it out. I'll put it up, be like, I had a conversation with H. And that'll be it, because I am not a marketer. And I am not feeling the requirement. I feel like whoever needs to see this, whoever needs to hear that conversation. I was just
going to say, if it can help somebody and they can resonate with certain things we talked about, or it inspires them, then that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That to me is everything. I don't worry about nothing else. If it can make you feel good about yourself or make you change certain things about yourself to better yourself and make you feel great, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
Yeah? And if you need to get hold of us again, just get in touch with Mr. Pepper there.
Yeah, it might take me a while to get back to you, but
and he will come and call me, and I'll come back and we'll just have another conversation about whatever. Because, we just talking about life itself, you know what I mean? And that's all we can do. I can only talk about my experiences, what I feel. He's asking me about the way certain things, what he don't know about, because we only let people know what we want them to know, you know? But when you're true to yourself, when you find yourself, when you become who you are, then you talk your truths, innit?
Well, we can only really scratch the surface, though. Like, we could have this conversation 10 times, 100 times. Yeah. And each time it will bring out new things, new facets, new. Yeah. And the reality is the person that you are is the person that you are.
Yes.
And you've gone on a journey, you've experienced it, but ultimately the person that you are is who you decide you want to be.
Yeah.
And that is the most important thing for anyone who's listening to this.
That's the most important thing.
Be who you want to be.
Yeah.
And wake
Enemy minds refuse to lose. And that's what it's about.
That is what
you know what I mean? Don't give in to what you think, when sometimes you think I can't do this. No. Stop telling yourself you can, then you won't. Tell yourself you can, you will. Tell yourself you can, you won't. And it's that simple. There ain't that is that simple. Whatever you choose for yourself, to yourself, by yourself, will be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you will be. Serious.
It's true.
Because at the end of the day, the last person you talk to is yourself.
And the first person you speak to is yourself as well.
There you go. Serious.
Born alone, we die alone.
There.
And everything else is just how we want to be.
How we want to be.
How we we can say that it is because people have made us be a certain way, but reality is as you've literally shown today, no matter what, you can still be happy.
Yeah.
You can still turn up. You can still be positive. You can still say hello to everyone.
Yes.
You can still try and make a positive impact.
Because you still have a choice. You can make that choice. Yeah. And why I say that, even if somebody held a gun to your head, you still have the choice whether you live or die. Think about it. Even if somebody held a gun to my head and said, if you say this, well, I just say, I'm saying it anyway. Just do what you got to do.
Yeah, because it's to either live or to not live, right? And to live is to be alive and to be authentically who you are.
There you go.
And to not be, it's just death anyway, isn't it?
There you go. You know what I mean? You still have a choice, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You still have a choice.
You do still have a choice.
Yeah. And what you choose to do is what you choose to do. Good or bad is your choice. And you got to own it. And whatever comes with it.
It's accountability, isn't it?
Yeah. Whatever comes with it, don't moan about it because you made that choice. It's yours.
Yeah.
Seriously. But the greatest thing is just wake up and be happy. And if you wake up and be happy, your day is great. Seriously.
I think that's
your day is great.
That's a good place to call it. That was a lot of fun, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, my man.
So yeah, Big H Fitness on Facebook. Send him a message if you want to find him. Go to Eastfield Park
in Bristol. The big man himself. Yes, my brother.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, man. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That was brilliant, mate. Seriously, I enjoyed that.